Hope we are all doing very, very well today. I have some news. We've got not only better internet, I've got a brand new wireless dual band router, so this should be much, much smoother, but I also have a direct into phone Ethernet cord, which I've got the adapter, but I don't yet have a long enough Ethernet cable because my modem's over there. So this is step 1 of 2 of making this much, much better. So I appreciate you guys being patient for so many episodes of this being a very, very choppy and not having the best of images. But now we should theoretically have solved that problem twofold. Plus I got a light. Look at that. All right, now this is a show I actually never thought we'd come to say to be a reality. The Snyder Cut is real. Guys, the Snyder Cut is coming to HBO Max as soon as next year. Now, this is going to be a potential 4-hour movie or 6-episode miniseries. This broke right after Coy-Cube dropped last week, so I've been sitting on this. Last week, in fact, I said, hey, I think we're going to hear something about HBO Max and the Snyder Cut as soon as possible. And lo and behold, it was the Man of Steel premiere, which we all thought it was going to be. So, it's real. Now, I tweeted out that it's a tricky precedent, and that got a lot of people angry, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be detrimental to cinema or society or any of those things that some naysayers might. I think this is very, very good for so many people. This allows creative freedom. This allows artists to get to make their own version of art. I think that most times director's cuts have merit. There are very, very few exceptions where I think the secondary cut shouldn't have come out. So there's always something worth seeing, right? There's something worth sharing. Like, for example, I like the regular cut of Donnie Darko because it's more mysterious than the director's cut of Donnie Darko, but that doesn't mean that there aren't reasons that people like the director's cut, for example. So I'm excited for the Snyder Cut because it allows a new level of creative freedom, and it allows for an entirely new batch of experiences with this movie, because it seems to me we've only seen about a quarter of his film. I think that we were supposed to get a 3-hour cut of the movie that was supposed to be a part 1 of 2, and then the movie itself was finished filming for the most part. I've heard varying levels of how true that is, and that basically became what Joss Whedon worked with, and then he filmed a bunch of stuff, and then they released a 2-hour movie. So obviously, when you've got a 3-hour movie that's part of a 6-hour movie, and then you release a 2-hour movie that's also got input from another director, we're talking about a very small percentage of what the Snyder Cut is that we've seen. So I'm very, very excited to see what this full insanity is. He's been teasing stuff on Vero for literally 3 years. The Justice League that we saw was 3 years ago, which is just insane to think about. And I think everything I've heard is exciting. I want to see Darkseid so very, very much. I want to see Martian Manhunter. I want to see Green Lantern. I want to see all of these things we've been teased, and it looks like we're going to get them. So it's also a perfect storm of timing. Basically, the pandemic has allowed us to receive the time that's needed in post-production, and then on the post-production side, these studios didn't have as many movies to work on because we've paused making movies for now. So this is the perfect storm of things to line up. HBO Max needed something to get people on their streaming service. Now people are excited. They needed a big press windfall right as they're about to launch. That's happening this week. They needed a post-production house to be willing to take on this giant, giant load of work, which they have time for because things aren't filming. And they needed fan interest. And that is what fans have done. Fans have not stopped asking for the Snyder Cut. And now we will absolutely be getting it. I personally hope for the miniseries. They said that when they pitched it initially to HBO, it was going to have cliffhangers, or they at least pitched cliffhangers. So I would love a Game of Thrones-esque superhero show. How cool would it be if we had premium content television superhero of the hundreds of millions of dollars scale? We've had premium content superhero shows with Watchmen. We've had premium content superhero shows with Daredevil. We've had these HBO Showtime level shows, but with the budget of a blockbuster movie. That is something we haven't had before. I've said before, I love the idea of serialized superhero content because it gets us basically the way comics work is monthly. So I think having a show makes more sense. These are soap opera-esque in their storylines. You have lots and lots of story to unfold. So if we can show with the Snyder Cut how much investment there is, then we are in for a good time with a multi-$100 million TV show. They also recently, today, said that this is going to cost more than $30 million to finish. The original estimates were $20 to $30 million. But one of the heads of HBO Max, a Mr. Greenblatt, explained, quote, "It isn't as easy as going into the vault and there's a Snyder Cut there to put out already. It does not exist. Zack is actually building it, and it's complex, including new visual effects shots. It's a radical rethinking of that movie, and it's complicated and wildly expensive. I'll just say, I wish it was just $30 million and stop there. It's an enormous undertaking and very complex." This guy wishes it was only $30 million. He wants it to just be $30 million. This is going to be a very expensive, brand new movie. Now, I have heard they're not doing additional photography. I have heard there aren't going to be new scenes shot. So don't expect to see the current 3 years later Ben Affleck put that suit on. Don't expect to see, the more Ezra Miller than we'd already filmed. Expect it to be lots of never-before-seen footage adding up to this new movie, but I don't think we're going to see new suiting up behind-the-scenes photos because we can't film right now. But again, that's the perfect time to finish this movie because a lot of it was shot. But this quote really fascinated me because it sounds like it's going to be a lot of work, but now's the time to do it. I'm super excited. And thank you to Mukbang Reviews for the general support. I really appreciate you in the super chat there. Much, much, much obliged. Thank you for helping me do this. It has been a whirlwind of a pandemic. That means the world. Thank you. Someone in the live chat just asked, animated parts. I don't think animated in the traditional animation sense. I think there's going to be a lot of CGI. Maybe they'll be able to throw some money at it they wouldn't have normally been able to. Some Planet of the Apes caliber animation. Maybe some things that are adding voiceover work. I know they're going to do some ADR. I know that the actors have all agreed to do ADR. And if you look at Aquaman, that's a lot of CGI. So technically, additional photography is a relative term. We will have to see. Guys, my first coffee of the day. I've been so busy. There's so much cool schmo stuff coming at you soon. I've been schmoing all day. Big schmo day. So that's why this was delayed. I appreciate your patience. And it's actually, we got a bunch of you guys in here right now, so I appreciate the hell out of all of y'all. So, with the Snyder Cut, we also got word that the Ayer Cut might be coming. Now, when I say a tricky precedent that's set, I am only afraid of every single movie that comes out, people then being like, but that's not the cut this person wanted. That is, for example, Josh Trank's Fantastic Four. I would have loved to have seen the Josh Trank version of that movie, but that's not the way the studio system works. I would take the Lord and Miller cut of Solo before I'd want a Solo 2. We're going to talk about Solo 2 in just a minute here. But it's going to be a really tricky precedent going forward of fan entitlement versus studio freedom. Because at the end of the day, art is never finished. At the end of the day, a movie is made in 3 parts: pre-production, production, and post-production. At the end of the day, we are the consumer of the art. You go to a museum, you generally don't get to help make the art differently to your liking. So this is a really rare situation where enough fan support caused the Snyder Cut to get to exist. So I would love David Ayer to get to release his version of the movie, but it is going to cost money, and I don't want people to just get mad because it happened once, that it should happen every time. David Ayer has said that it'd be cathartic for him if they finish the movie. He has said that the movie he made has never seen the screen. We know for a fact that lots and lots of things that were filmed hasn't come to pass. But, and again, this is not disrespecting the Snyder Cut, this sets a tricky line in the sand for where the DC Universe is going, because the DC Universe had kind of veered away from this. They kept Gal Gadot and Aquaman, obviously, and those things, allowed for the universe to kind of expand, and they both made lots and lots of money. Aquaman and Wonder Woman did gangbusters. But we still haven't seen the Flash movie, which is apparently a Flashpoint launch-off, which I think could actually solve a lot of these problems. I think you use Flashpoint as a way to launch things out instead of crash things in. I think you allow the Ben Affleck Batman to coexist with Robert Pattinson as different worlds. I think you allow Shazam to be its own thing in its own corner like Guardians is. Guardians relates to the MCU, but it doesn't need to mess with continuity. So I think Flashpoint could allow for that. Even having a different Flash as the actor in Flashpoint, like they did with Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller, you can play around with continuity, luckily, with Flashpoint. But David Ayer's Suicide Squad is from the old iteration of what the the DC Universe was going to do. So frankly, it's tricky. We're going to have, in 2021, 2 Batmans. We're going to have Batman as Ben Affleck. We're going to have Batman as Robert Pattinson. 2 different Batmans in one DC Universe. So I think having an Ayer Suicide Squad come out, we don't have that Joker anymore, technically. We don't have... I mean, he was seen from the back in Birds of Prey, but we don't have a lot of those characters making an appearance in Suicide Squad 2, but we do have that Harley Quinn. So the only difficulty I have with any of this is that it's going to be a mess of what this is cinematically, and we're all likely comic book fans. If you're watching my show, we're likely a comic book fan, which means you understand that comic books have different writers, different artists, things change all the time. But people that are not in the world of comics that just like action spectacle movies are going to be really confused. It must have already been confusing for so many people that Joaquin Phoenix was the Joker and they just saw Jared Leto's Joker, if they saw both. It's going to be really confusing if in 1 year we get a revamp of all those things. So, as much as I love David Ayer, I think he's an incredible director. Like, End of Watch is brilliant, and Fury is absolutely mind-blowing. I would love to see that director's vision of Suicide Squad, but with the timing... So, I would like your assignment, dear viewer, in the comments. I've seen someone mention Edgar Wright's, Sahil mentioned Edgar Wright's Ant-Man. I would love to see that. I personally would love to see Lord and Miller Solo. All of those things. I would love in the comments for you to write down what movie you would like to see the cut of. I'm going to encourage some bad behavior. What would you like to see the director's cut of a movie that you've heard had a complicated journey to the screen? And let's see what you guys have to say. I'm really curious what movies you'd like to see going forward in the comments below. We also this week had a Solo 2 hashtag trending, which is frankly very surprising. Solo didn't do that well. Solo was 2 movies. Solo was a Ron Howard film, and it was also a Lord and Miller film. Solo is not likely getting a sequel. It was shocking to me, and it felt like it was right on the heels of people saying that the Snyder Cut wasn't going to cause a giant change in cinema in the fan spectrum. But then Solo 2, full disclosure, I know Alden. I think Alden is an incredible actor. I think Alden deserves another shot at something of this ilk if he wants it. I don't necessarily know if Alden wants to be on giant, cups and run around and do all the press and stuff. Like, I don't know if that's what he wants, but I do know that he is deserving and he is very talented. And Solo did not get the respect it deserved. I thought Solo was a lot of fun. I think it was at the wrong time in the tenure of Star Wars where there were too many cooks in the kitchen. A lot of people were doing this, and it got messy. I would love to see Lord and Miller do anything in Star Wars. I'd love to see Lord and Miller do anything. I'm so excited they're doing that Ryan Gosling astronaut film. I'm so excited to see what they make next, period. But for my money, Solo 2 is the least likely thing to happen in all of Star Wars. I think we're going to see a lot of things happen before that. I'd take a Lando movie before that. I want to see Donald Glover get to be Lando all on his own. But the hashtag just baffled me. This week, Solo 2 on Disney Plus was trending. So who knows? It is our money, right? We vote with our wallets. Everything that we do is us contributing to, what it is that we're going to say going forward. So time will tell. But Ayer Cut is a direct response to the Snyder Cut. I think Solo 2 is a direct response to these two. It is quite the time to be a fan. It is quite the time, thanks to the internet, to have a voice. It is quite the time to be a film fan that loves genre film and comic books, because now more than ever, we're in a position of, holy crap, our voices matter. So don't abuse that power. Don't abuse that voice. Don't become a bully. If the cut of your movie doesn't happen, if the thing you want in a movie doesn't happen, don't turn it into entitlement. That is the line in the sand for me. You can be a fan and you can be zealous, don't be entitled. The Spider-Man we have in the MCU is not, in many ways, a Spider-Man that I would have done, because Uncle Ben's not involved enough, and he has a lot of Iron Man-isms that bothered me. I'm not as big on a lot of the Dan Slott Iron Man stuff, because they turned Spider-Man into Tony Stark, and that stuff bothers me. But not once did I stop buying Spider-Man, and not once did I publicly say it wasn't fair or right. Entitlement versus fandom. Zeal versus entitlement. It's a fine line in the sand. If you're a fan of mine, I just ask that you stay on the right side of justice. And I gotta jump over to my Streamlabs real quick, in between stories. All right, we got one from the great Smack Talk. Smack Talk. All right, we got, hey Coy, don't know if you got the chance to check it out yet, but I absolutely cannot get enough the Harley Quinn animated series. Excellent writing, cast, comedy, and spot-on social satire commentary. This show is a blast and a half. How's the toe? Okay, so firstly, I have not had a chance to watch Harley Quinn yet. If you guys watch Coy Cubed religiously, you know that I have been watching Community and West Wing. and I try not to watch more than like 2 or 3 shows at once because I get overwhelmed with movies and comics I'm reading and everything else. Even in quarantine, I'm only on season 3 of Community, and it's a half-hour show. I am only on season 3, episode 4 of West Wing. I am very, very bad at binging. I've recently made Sundays my day off. Recently, I've decided that I am going to not work at all on Sundays. I'm not going to answer emails unless they're total emergencies. I'm not going to stream. I'm taking Sundays off. So henceforth on Sundays, I am binging. Those are my days. I will catch up faster, and now Harley Quinn has moved way up on the queue. I hear it's great, and you have mentioned it before, so in your honor, I will be watching Harley Quinn probably in the summer at some point. I've definitely been way too busy. I haven't even watched season 2 of My Hero Academia, which I might be doing for Patreon stuff down the line. Like, I'm so behind on content. So, unfortunately, I have not watched Harley Quinn yet. But to answer your other question, guys, I broke my toe. I broke my toe this week. It hurts. I don't recommend it. I've broken my toe before. I've broken toes before because I'm an idiot. But I haven't broken one this badly, I think, ever. Basically what happened was I was helping a friend out. She's in quarantine, and she is staying in as much as possible. So she's also, like, in between. She can't drive because she's in between prescriptions, and, like, the prescription won't go through because she can't go to the place to get the prescription filled because they're not open because of quarantine. It's a whole thing. Personal shit aside, she's not driving, so I've been helping her out. She rearranged her space, and I was going through her living room, and this is actually where I've been filming. If you see a different background behind me, it's because I've been helping her out in film. I was going through her space, and I basically just I basically stubbed my toe so hard that my third and fourth toe did like this, and the fourth toe shattered. Like, my fourth toe, not shattered, that's exaggerating. My fourth toe bent the wrong way to such a level it snapped, and my entire fourth toe, like my ring toe, is black and blue. It's getting better. It's been a deep shade of purple, like deeper than Prince purple. It turned black. It is now receding from the darkness of bad bruising. I've got it splinted. I've got it buddy wrapped. A lot of people ask me if I went to the hospital. One, I haven't had insurance since 2014? I haven't had insurance in a long time because I'm old. And I have never had America doesn't really supply insurance for those that had part-time work. I've either been part-time or a freelancer because I work on the internet, or I worked in restaurants. So I haven't had insurance in long enough, and I don't have $10,000 to go get my foot looked at when they're just going to splint it. So I have not been in the hospital, so I'm just taking care of it myself. But you will see less running videos from me for the foreseeable. I'm supposed to take 6 weeks off. I'm going to try to take 3. I can put weight on my foot, but I'm going to try not to run. I've got stuff I'm supposed to film with fitness stuff, so this is tricky timing. I'm going to do what I can, but it's real broken. I can move parts of my foot, not all of it. It sucks. It's broken as fuck. So yeah, that's your update about my foot. Thank you all very much for the love. It is splinted. It is buddy taped to its adjacent toes, and I'm doing everything I can. And the sun will come out tomorrow. Whew, it hurts. Okay, moving back to the news, and I appreciate the concern, doing what I can, and yeah, it sucks. Okay, so moving over to, also, like, I broke it because it, like, hit like this and it split, and then I went to the grocery store. So I did the entire grocery store walking, and I was like, this hurts way more than I thought. And I'm in a really pissy mood, and I keep getting nauseous. And then I took off my foot. Then I took off my shoe, took off my sock, and the whole toe was black and purple. So that was a jarring image. But now I know I'm tough enough to grocery shop with a broken toe. Okay, moving along to Tenet. Guys, we gotta talk about Tenet. Tenet had a new trailer come out last week, and I haven't done a stream since, and it blew my mind. I am so excited. It still didn't tell us a lot about the movie. It did address the time travel rumors, saying it wasn't a movie about time travel, but about time inversion. So it is really interesting that they're not considering what this character can do time travel, but he inverts time. He's able to catch bullets instead of shooting them. He's able to know what's going to happen through talking with time. I'm already confused. Inception took some digesting. This trailer took some digesting. My favorite thing that we got out of this entire week's worth of Tenet news was the fact that it's only going to be in theaters. They're obviously, Christopher Nolan is a giant advocate for the movie theater. Obviously, he's got to be invested in getting this thing out, but I loved that the button at the end of Tenet was coming to theaters. I haven't felt that rush in so long. One, we haven't done a new trailer in 2 months, but two, like the care for Tenet, the care for the theater is so big, and I'm so excited. Guys, I haven't been this excited for a movie in a really long time. I love Nolan. I love voyeuristic, perspectives on worlds we can't live in, and the way he shoots is so like you're part of the action. I love inventive indie filmmaking with a large-scale budget, and he literally crashes a plane. They crash a 747 in this film. Everything about this is my cup of tea. It looks like a James Bond film mixed with time travel, but with a tongue-in-cheek awareness that it's that exact thing. It's like a more fun, self-aware James Bond, because you know Nolan's like a giant Bond fan, so now we got to make a Bond in his own canon. He got to shape his own universe around the spy world. So, I mean, Kenneth Branagh's like the Shakespearean actor. So you've got like a Bond mustache-twirling villain in Kenneth Branagh. You've got Pattinson and Washington acting their eyeballs out, and it looks so impossibly good. Tenet is coming out in theaters, and I can't talk about it, but I can say you will know by the end of the week when, and you'll be surprised. And I'm really excited. So keep an eye out for that release date getting officially confirmed, and I think you'll find out sooner than later. And I'm really stoked. So I am intrigued by what Tenet's going to be for the theater industry. I'm intrigued by what the movie is, man. I'm so stoked, and I'm so glad I know nothing. I'm so glad I'm going into this just excited. I get to be a fan with this movie. I get to not have any preconceived notion of comic books. I get to not have any prior expectations except Nolan. This movie is exactly what I need to get back in the theater. This is the exact movie I need to feel like pop culture is spinning again. I'm not going to go until I feel safe. As far as the world, I don't feel safe going out in public yet, so it's going to be really tricky when it's released, whenever it is, just getting people to feel comfortable. But I will find a way, either if it's looking on AMC A-List app and seeing when no one's in that theater and waiting a week, or what. Or I'll have to avoid the internet. Like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. But, yeah, it's crazy how excited I am for this movie, and it's crazy that we are definitely getting it in theaters, because that is where movies are meant to be seen. So, guys, I'm thrilled. Let me know what you think of all the Tenet trailer glory in the comments. Let me know if you've somehow solved the mystery that I'm still confused by. Just generally, I'm very excited by Tenet, and I want to know what other people think, because I haven't clicked the Tenet hashtag once because I'm afraid someone knows more than I do, and I'll read something I regret. So, unless you're a dick, leave a comment with a general thought of what you're thinking of the movie, and I'm really stoked. Alright, I'm going to briefly look at the comments here. The live chat is moving and grooving. Also, live chat, is 4 o'clock better for you guys? We have a bit of a bigger audience in here at 4 o'clock than we usually do at 2. So if this is a better time, I'll stream at 4, because this is rad, and I like having y'all in here with me. So, someone says, try Money Heist when I get a chance. People are loving on West Wing. Hell yeah. I'm watching that for the first time. I'm in season 3, and I'm deeply in love. Yo, people are saying the video's way better. Oh, that makes me so happy. Oh, look, you can see my hair instead of just a blob of pixels. Guys, haircut season is real. I'm so happy with my weird-ass Oliver Queen, and I haven't had hair this long in so long. I think I'm just going to go Wolverine and just grow shit until we'll see. Let's see. Alright, I think I'm caught up for the most part. Okay, people are liking later. This is better for most people in here right now. Okay, we'll get back to the news. That way people that are here for news aren't just like, this guy's excited people are watching. Okay, back to the news. Guys, this is the most personally gratifying bit of news that I have ever gotten to deliver, because it's about a friend and it's about a property I care about. This isn't me getting Deadpool versus Spider-Man, that level of gratifying. This isn't me getting Donald Glover's Deadpool animated series. This isn't me being cast as Cletus Cassidy. This isn't me getting cast as Flash Thompson. This is a selfless excitement. Selfless excitement. One of my friends is writing Labyrinth 2, and I'm so proud of her. I'm so happy for her. Labyrinth is her Spider-Man. She is as into Labyrinth and the world of Bowie and the world that was created with the Goblin King and everything about Henson and everything about this movie as I am about comic books. The things I know her for are passion, Bowie, and Prince. This is going to be exceptional. So, my friend Maggie is getting, it'd be like me getting to be in Spider-Man, write Spider-Man, or like any of that. Like this is me going to London with Jake Gyllenhaal to promote Spider-Man, but with a year of doing it and then a lifetime of ramifications. Like this is so huge, and I'm so happy. Maggie is one of the best people I know. Maggie is an absolute sweetheart. Maggie is consistently giving and kind and creative. Maggie, I do Rocky Horror When the World is Spinning, and Maggie's the director of that. I've known Maggie for 9 years, which in LA time is a lifetime. Maggie's one of my closest friends, and I'm elated, guys. The Labyrinth 2 should concern me because I'm such a Labyrinth fan, but since it's someone that is so invested in this property, it couldn't be better. Of course, Scott Derrickson directing it is a huge win for it getting all the notice it deserves, a huge win for it being as weird as it needs to be, a huge win for it having horror and whimsy and nightmare elements. It is a win all around. I'm always tricky in my opinions of nostalgia and sequels coming way later and all of those things that we don't know how it's going to affect our opinion of the first one. But I can almost guarantee you this is going to be Blade Runner 2049 before it's Men in Black 4. This is going to be... It's the best news. So Maggie Levin is an incredible writer. She is an incredible talent. She has an eye for creativity that is unrivaled. Scott Derrickson is obviously the man, and he has such a great vision for all of this world, this exact world. This duo is perfect, is what I'm saying. So we are getting a Labyrinth 2. We are getting it in theaters when the time comes. It is going into production. It has a brilliant, perfect writer in Maggie Levin. It has a wonderful titan of a director in Scott Derrickson. Labyrinth 2 is going to be so dope. So, yeah, personally, very excited. So, real hype. Mukbang Reviews says, also, yes, better time. I've seen like a 90% it is a better time for later. I am so sorry for those in the UK that are seeing it now. Back to Labyrinth real quick before I move along. Rewatch Labyrinth 1. Someone actually just said that. Rewatch Labyrinth 1. And also, know that I think right now is such a good time for us to explore imagination with our evolving culture, seeing the world in new and exciting ways. I think Dark Crystal came at the perfect time for that. I think that the times they tried to make Muppet movies before now, they didn't they either looked too much topically or they looked too much in the past. And I think Dark Crystal found that sweet spot. And I think that right now, with that established expectation, is the perfect time for Labyrinth 2. So, couldn't be more excited. I'm gonna stop gloating about my lovely friend Maggie and say, like, yeah. Okay. We also, last week, had a hell of a streaming problem, so I didn't really get to talk about Stargirl as much as I wanted to. Stargirl came out last week, and I talked about it for 20 minutes, and the show inexplicably cut 25 minutes out of my stream. I did an hour and 5 minute stream last week, and then it posted at 40 minutes. So a full frickin' 25 minutes was missing, and much of that was about Stargirl. So I want to talk about Stargirl with you guys. And now I'm going to do light spoilers because it's been out for a full week. Stargirl is my favorite new show on the CW, and it is my favorite pilot since Flash. It is my favorite... Okay, I'll be careful with spoilers. It is my favorite world building they've done since Flash. For me, it's like Smallville, Flash, Stargirl, Arrow, Black Lightning, Supergirl. Like, there's a hierarchy for me. There are ones I like more than others. Stargirl made the top 3 immediately. Pilot alone, I was so impressed with everything they did. A pilot is a near impossible task. A pilot is getting a bunch of characters you just met to a point of an inciting incident of action and introducing you to actors playing characters you're probably invested in if it's a comic book property, getting you invested in heroes and villains without being cheesy, getting you to believe a world where costumes and everything are okay, and doing all of that in 44 minutes or less. A pilot is impossible. most times I give a show 3 episodes because I know a pilot has to appeal to a studio, to fans, and to broad audiences, and you're not going to be able to accomplish all that. I think Stargirl absolutely did. I was so impressed. I never thought we'd see Luke Wilson and Amy Smart are on a CW show. That's crazy. The CW has grown so much. The DC Universe is where the show was originally going to land, but I think a combination of exposure, budget, the integration of those companies allowed it to be on both. I think it comes out a day earlier on DC Universe and then the CW. I think that's smart. I think that's for the best. I think it's fantastic. The show has some of the most expensive action I've ever seen accomplished on TV. It opens with action and then builds story, but you don't feel like it's wasting the action. A lot of times when action is the forefront, it's to catch you and then you don't really care yet, but it somehow makes you care, partly because the casting is so good. Joel McHale is exceptional. My buddy Chris Baker plays Brainwave, and he is instantly menacing. The show immediately captures you, and then it does a time jump, and you're not alienated by it. It works. I really appreciate the fact that they trust you to believe that superheroes exist without feeling like pandering. I love how much practical there is. They made Stripes real. They made Stripes a tangible robot. It's like the end of this thing, this isn't a spoiler, Iron Giant vibes. This is so freaking cool to see Stripes in reality. I also love that Joel McHale portrays the character the way he does. Again, Chris Baker is such a great big bad for the show. He does so much physically for a character that's a mental superpower that you feel is the ambiance and the tone shift when he's on screen that is so incredible. I'm going to have him back on Coycast, my audio podcast, later on in the season because we're going to talk about certain episodes down the line. He is such an incredible actor, and if you haven't heard the episode of Coycast last week, we had a deep dive into Brainwave and Stargirl, where we talked about playing with power sets and using physical tics like the Alexander technique in mental ways. It was a really LA actor conversation as well as a super comic book conversation. So if you're at all interested in acting or comic books, it was a really fun time. He's a comic book guy. He's been on Ozark and True Detective, and he's an incredible actor, and he brought all of that to this incredible DC Universe show. I think it's going to do better than Swamp Thing did. I wish we got more Swamp Thing, and now that Swamp Thing's on the CW, maybe we will. I'm keeping the spoiler light because I see a bunch of people saying that they did not see it yet. I will say one of my favorite moments is seeing in the opening, this isn't a spoiler, Hawkman looks awesome in that photo. There's a JSA photo that is just the JSA. It's straight out of the comic. You can tell they modeled it after drawings in the comic books. You can tell they grabbed a JSA photo that was drawn and just made it. They love comics. Jeff Johns was there often. Jeff Johns was there almost every day, and it shows. It's amongst my new favorite of the CW stuff. So check it out. Stargirl, real good. I wanted to dive back in and get a chance to talk about it with you guys. Do check it out. It's really something special. We've got a new Streamlab from PC. Coy, love your episode the other night when you went through your Blu-ray collection. I hope you do my toe heels ASAP. Thank you so very much. PC, we're doing another one of those on Thursday. So Tuesdays is going to be news. Thursdays is Coy-lection. And then I'm dropping my Patreon podcast Tuesday morning. I do this stream with you guys Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday, Coycast drops. Thursday, Coy-lection. Friday, I do Patreon reviews. And then Monday, I actually film the collection. So I'm working 5 to 6 days a week to bring you guys as much content as I absolutely can. And once the world catches back up, we'll actually be able to fill all that. Right now, the Coycast and Coy Cubed have a lot of redundancies because not a lot of news is happening. So I'm having to do the big stories on both. But eventually, I think I'll be able to do the news that is relevant Monday. There'll be all new news to drop Tuesday afternoon and then moving forward. But for now, I appreciate you guys being here for both. I found out today my Coycast is almost in the top 100 entertainment news podcasts in the world. It's like number 130 in America, and it's in the top 100 in most of European audiences and those things. So it's doing well, guys. Entertainment news is a very crowded podcast category, so the fact that it's doing that well, and it's just me. It's my first independent podcast. It's the first thing I've done without a studio backing me. It costs money to host. I'm paying to do Coycast, but I'm happy to do it, and it's doing incredibly well. I'm so flattered by you guys all being here for it, and I'm so happy that we got this going. I got 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I didn't know how to use YouTube until this year. So spread the word of Coy Cubed, get my viewership up on YouTube, and then spread the word of Coy Cast. I want to get in that top 100. I'm very, very honored to be so close to the top 100 entertainment news. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's just me ranting for an hour. People are here for it. It's dope. And we're keeping that positivity moving. I will not be negative, even when I break a toe and am stuck in quarantine. If this isn't a test, I don't know what is. So if I can be positive during this, you better expect positive news out of the Coy Cast and Coy Cubed for the foreseeable future. And thank you guys for wanting that good news to be your source of news. I'm going to keep that Krasinski some good news going in my own way. So thank you all very much for that. But yeah, to answer your question, Thursday is going to be, I think we left off on E. So we're going to do E through H for my Blu-rays on Thursday. I realized that trying to do 5 letters of the alphabet was too many letters. I have a lot of Blu-rays. So we're going to go through, basically what we did was the cover, the characters, the actors in the movie, what it means to me. We did like a mini review for each movie. So it's like a little 5-minute review of each of my movies. And my Blu-rays are the movies that mean the most to me. So it's kind of cool to look at the movies that shaped me and then how I shaped my collection. And my family is super supportive. I pretty much only ask for Blu-rays on my birthday and Christmas. So most of that collection is from birthdays and Christmases for the last 15 years. So it's really cool to go through them with you guys. And there's going to be more of that Thursday. And if you haven't checked it out, from last week, I go through A through F. And that video is on my YouTube right now. So if you want to see my Blu-ray collection and all the stuff I'm in, check it out. All right, so back to the news. We also found out this week the DC Connect is going to be a new magazine that comes out to alert you of DC Comics. Now, Previews is typically where I get all of my distribution information from. It covers Marvel, it covers Image, it covers Dark Horse, it covers DC, it covers Boom, it covers IDW, it covers all of the comic book companies in one. But Previews is a Diamond distribution model. DC is not distributing just through Diamond anymore. They've got 3 different distributors, including Diamond, so they're doing their own magazine called DC Connect. So if you want to know where, when, how all the comics are coming out from DC, it's got its own separate leg now. So DC Connect is available right now. It's a giant, like 58-page PDF, and you can see for August what books are coming out and when. And basically, we're going to have to adjust to a new like learning curve of when we're getting our books, how they're getting shipped. I'm still going to go on Wednesdays because then I'll be able to get Marvel, Image, and DC. DC looks like they're shipping on Tuesdays for the foreseeable, but obviously that doesn't prevent you from getting it the next day on Wednesday. Digitally, I'm going to try to read some on Tuesday. That way when I pick up my books on Wednesday, I've got a chunk already taken out. What I'm trying to do is have all of my books read by Friday. So in the future for reviews for you guys, if you're a patron, I review every single book I read, and I'm trying to have that done by Friday. So if you guys go out to the comic store on Saturday and want my opinion on books, you'll have a letter grade for what books I enjoyed that week. So I will always, for free, I'm not going to charge for my favorites. I'm always going to post my top 9. I'm always going to talk about my favorite books here. I'm not just doing this for money. So always expect tons of comic reviews right here on this very, very free platform. But if you guys want to know what I like of every book that I'm reading, check that out. I'm going to try to have that done for Fridays. So that is what DC is doing with their distribution model. Marvel is back as of tomorrow, you guys. At the end of this episode, we've got a Marvel and DC pull list for new comic books. I am very happy with comic books coming back out. I got to read Deadly Class number 44 this week, which is from an independent house, and that is moving and grooving, which is very exciting. We're getting comic books back, and it feels so good to read comics again. It was great to catch up. It was great to read Ex Machina. It was great to reread Y the Last Man. It's been great to discover books, but I can't wait to have weekly books as well as dabbling in rediscovering old gems because I miss my weekly books, and I don't think I've ever gone 2 months without weekly books in my life, so it's been very jarring. Sorry guys, it's very hot. I'm svetzing. Okay. So, check out DC Connect for all of DC's goodness for August. Keep an eye out on how their distribution model changes. Pick up books safely, curbside pickup. Support local comic book stores. Any local comic book shop, I think now nationwide, is allowed legally to do curbside pickup. I think that's what's going on. Call your comic shop, email your comic shop, make a pull list, curbside pickup, pick up your comics, support these stores. They're back, they are open, comics are back. Tomorrow is our first full Diamond delivery day. Diamond Delivery Day. The Triple D. Real exciting shit. Okay, so I'm just amped. We're gonna do a pull list, like I said, at the end of the episode. Also in the news, Always Sunny in Philadelphia has broken a record. Always Sunny in Philadelphia has a 15th season. 15th. That is the longest running live action comedy in history. It was tied at 14th with the show Harriet and Something from the 70s that I didn't know about. It is now the longest running live action comedy of all time. This is amazing for a myriad of reasons. One, it's largely kept its entire cast. In fact, Dennis has come back. Two, it is entirely relevant as much today as it was the day it started. Three, this was a show that started on YouTube. This was a contest. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember because I wanted to enter in it, and I regret the fact that I didn't. Actually, I don't, because I would never have made something better than Always Sunny because it's inspired and brilliant. This was a YouTube contest where you made a short and then they greenlit your show, and now it went from being maybe in a contest and FX Networks, which was not that big at the time, to the longest running sitcom and spawning an entirely separate network, FXX. From nothing to record setting. That's insane. Now, the reason I think Always Sunny has such success is it's basically The Simpsons live action. It's able to handle things topically. It's able to pivot on its spot. It's able to deal with like the news and make funny, relatable content about it. This next season is going to deal with the coronavirus. Season 15 has coronavirus plot lines. It's able to reinvent itself. The earlier episodes are much different in their sense of humor than the middle of the seasons and up until now. Like, I think Fat Mac and Jacked Mac are fascinating in that they're the same actor and it's the same character, but he's able to be an entirely different character while being true to the character of Mac. Rob McElhenney is an inspired actor, and you would never have thought that from the way the character was introduced, how brilliant of a man. He co-created the show. He's such a huge factor of why it's successful, but you're able to see through Fat Mac and Jacked Mac and all these things how versatile of an actor he is. It is insanely good. I'm a huge fan of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I haven't seen much of it. I've seen the first 6 seasons. I think they came out before I moved. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. I think I've seen the first 4 or 5 seasons because that was before I moved, and then I've seen bits and pieces since. And there's a scene where basically Mac comes out as gay through dance, and it's one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen on television, and it's one of the most important scenes because it's just this impossibly... Watch it. It's beautiful. It's important. It's not judging anything about itself, and it's telling an incredible story through dance and doing things I could never do, and I'm just really inspired by it. So check it out. It's really cool. And Always Sunny is now a 15-season show, and I'm just proud of all those guys because they did it as friends and have stayed friends, and they've also gone on to do like AP Bio, and McElhenney's doing his own like D&D type show, and there's everyone in the show has grown out and done their own stuff but stayed together, and they're still friends, and it's a beautiful thing. So congratulations to Always Sunny in Philadelphia for their 15th season renewal, setting the record. I am flabbergasted. That's so cool. Okay, also, this week we got some news that they're doing a female-centric Sony universe of Marvel characters / Spider-Man universe of Marvel characters, but it is going to be directed by S.J. Sorry, I forgot her last name. S.J. Clarkson, who directed some incredible episodes of Jessica Jones. She's a fantastic director. But the rumor is it's a Madam Web movie. Now, I love Spider-Man more than most things, but there are so many female characters in Spider-Man mythology that I think are better suited for this, like Jessica Drew, Mayday Parker, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy. I'd go Jessica Drew. I'd go Spider-Woman. She has a fascinating backstory. She has, cool spy stuff you could do. She's a mom in my favorite stories. I love the modern Jessica Drew where she's a single mom dealing with things. I'm biased. My mom's awesome, and she was a teen mom, which makes a difficult world. So I want to see a cool superhero by night, mom by day story. I think that Madam Web's a weird choice. Because you have to establish so many other characters before Madam Web becomes the cool, she's like the Oracle in the Matrix. She's the centerpiece. She was great in the 90s animated series because she came in season 4 when we'd already met all these characters. She'd be cool in the Spider-Verse because she'd allow for it to evolve in a really interesting way, but without that setup, I don't know what Madame Web's going to do. There was also a rumor that Charlize Theron was going to play her, which would be like negating all of the interesting... Madame Web's an older woman that has incredible powers. If you just make her like a young superhero... I don't know. I don't love it. The other movie that was announced this week is Jackpot. Jackpot is a character in 12 comics, I believe, total in history. The biggest thing about Jackpot is that she was thought to be Mary Jane and then wasn't. You guys know I'm rarely negative. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't really support... It feels like they're pandering. It feels like they're just... Like, Venom is a cool character that should involve Spider-Man, but we learned didn't have to. And it's a Christmas miracle that they made that work. But Venom is super popular on his own. Jackpot as a Spider-Man zealot has I'm not interested. Unless that movie's budget is $12 and they want to sell one ticket, they need to find a way to make this interesting. They need to find a way to tie it to Spider-Man. Jackpot's in 12 comics. Jackpot doesn't even have luck in her power set. The character doesn't make much sense to begin with. She's not that tied to mythology. She's not that interesting. And one of her biggest moments is that everyone thought she was Mary Jane and then she wasn't, so you can't really do that in the movies because we just were introduced to MJ 2 movies ago. It doesn't make sense. I thought Sony learned lessons. I'm a huge defender of Sony. I think I like that we have a separate Sony universe from the Marvel universe. I know that's controversial. I like that we get to have different types of movies. Marvel would never make Venom. Marvel would never make Morbius. I want versatility in superhero content. I don't want the same feel every 2 months. I want superhero movies every 2 months, and I want them to feel different. I want the Sony universe to be good. So I think Jackpot and Madame Web are not the direction I'd go. I also wouldn't introduce Silk yet. I'd play the long game with Silk. What makes Silk so interesting is her story is about being an outsider in America, and like she has to deal with so many horrible things, and she gets trapped for a really long time, and it's her reacclimating to the world that's fascinating, and I don't know that they could do that with the way Spider-Man is right now. So I don't know. Let me know in the live chat what you guys think about a potential Madame Web or Jackpot movie, because I hadn't been concerned about Venom, about the Spider-Man universe, about a Sinister Six, about a Kraven. I hadn't been concerned about any of that until these stories. So I was like, oh no, what if everyone was right and Sony is making weird choices? I like weird choices. Just make them concentrated on bolstering your universe, not throwing spaghetti at the wall. But then again, like, the Black Cat movie would be way more interesting. And, like, Black Cat almost happened. Black Cat Silver Sable almost happened. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Guys, I'm so happy the stream is much stronger than it has been. This makes me so stoked. Okay, let's see in the news what else we got. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, guys, are you ready for me to just talk for a minute? This is a huge, huge update Newsarama just put out. Newsarama just put out a list of all of the superhero shows currently in development, and I knew there was a lot, but I had no idea it was possibly this much. So I'm going to read these, but first I'm going to check on the live chat, because we got like 100 people in here right now. All right, let's see. Sony seems to be doing an okay job. Okay, gotcha. Ricks, that is true. That is something that did happen to Jackpot. You know what? Paste Pot Pete, in the style of Joker, if you cast the right person, it's the same pull as Jackpot. If they cast the right person for Jackpot, tell an okay story, I'm there. Paste Pot Pete's the same, though. It's the same credibility. Arguably, Paste Pot Pete has more exposure as Trapster and Paste Pot Pete. Make it Giovanni Ribisi. Giovanni Ribisi as Paste Pot Pete. Hell, Jackpot as Jane Levy. And I'm in. I guess you just give me the right actress and the right story. We'll see. Okay. Sahil, I am fascinated by your viewing habits. I love that you have so many things you want to see that you haven't yet, and Always Sunny has been added to the list. I think there was 2 or 3 movies during the Coy-Lection video that you hadn't seen either, so I'm really excited for your take on so much of this content. Oh yeah, The Wire and Breaking Bad. Let's see. People talking about Silk. Yeah, Jessica Drew is right there, Darth Vader. I agree. Jessica Drew's right there. Her parents are, like, she's got Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. and a cool power set, a great costume. She's a mom. Like, there's so much with Jessica Drew you could do. You can make a Jessica Drew trilogy easier than you can do a Jackpot singular movie. Easily. Okay. Dude, This Is Us is going to change your life. All right. Scott Welch, welcome. Dude, congrats on the bike ride. That is bitchin'. Congratulations. That's a good ride. Let's see. I didn't see someone being rude, but if they are, unacceptable. Let's see. All right, I think we're almost caught up, and I mean Helen Mirren, sure. Why not Helen Mirren as Madam Web? Sure. Okay, let's kick it over to this insane release schedule, guys. According to Newsarama and according to the latest update on shows that are in development, we have such an insanely staggering amount of comic book based shows in development, and I have to dive in. Okay, I hope you're ready. Currently airing, we've got DuckTales Season 2, Kengan Ashura Season 1, DC Superhero Girls Season 1, Cartoon Network, Ripley's Believe It or Not Season 1, Travel Channel, don't know if that's superhero content, Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, AMC, I can't believe the spin-off of The Walking Dead is already on Season 5, Stumptown Season 1, on my list of things to see that I really want to see, Super Dinosaur Season 1 on Amazon, Supergirl Season 5, The CW, The Walking Dead Season 10, AMC, Black Lightning Season 3, The CW, The Flash Season 6, The CW, Riverdale Season 4, The CW, Daybreak Season 1, Netflix, The Rocketeer Season 1, Disney Junior, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 2, Nickelodeon, Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons Season 1, CWC, DC's Legend of Tomorrow Season 5 on the CW, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 3 on Netflix, Katie Keene Season 1 on the CW, Vagrant Queen Season 1 on Sci-Fi, Harley Quinn Season 2, DC Universe, Spider-Man Maximum Venom Season 3, Disney XD, Snowpiercer Season 1 on TBS, and finally Stargirl Season 1 on the DC Universe. Those are the shows currently on TV of just comic book content. Those aren't the ones in development, those are just the ones that are currently on. Now, the shows slated for 2020 of comic book content are May 27th, a mere tomorrow, a day away. May 27th, we get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. We get on June 25th, Doom Patrol Season 2, which I'm very excited about. Doom Patrol Season 2 is going to be on both the DC Universe and HBO Max, which is really exciting. That's going to get a lot more exposure. I feel like a lot of people are going to go rediscover Season 1. Hopefully that brings people over to the DC Universe. And then on July 31st, my most anticipated show of the year, Umbrella Academy Season 2. Umbrella Academy Season 2. I loved Season 1. I think Netflix really killed it. I could not be more excited for what's to come with the fan response, the critical response, the everything response of Season 1. Okay. Prepare yourself. Unspecified 2020. The Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1. There's another Walking Dead show coming out. The Boys Season 2 on Amazon. Freak Angel Season 1 on Crunchyroll. WandaVision Season 1 on Disney+. Cannot wait. Pennyvision Season 2 on Epix. Titans Season 3 on DC Universe. Resident Alien Season 1 on Sci-Fi. The Walking Dead Season 11 on AMC. Boondocks Season 1 HBO Max. Winona Earp Season 4 Sci-Fi. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier Season 1 on Disney+. Hellstrom Season 1 Hulu. Ghost in the Shell SAC 2045 on Netflix. And Hilda Season 2 on Netflix. Now, I take back my prior statement. Umbrella Academy is my second most anticipated show next to WandaVision. And then third is Falcon and Winter Soldier. And then fourth is The Boys Season 2. Fifth is Pennyworth. That's just this year. That is insane. Okay, so I've read you what's on TV, what's coming with dates, and what is undated just for the year 2020. We are in May. The year is about half over, and there's that much more coming in May. Now, I know I'm talking fast. It's intentional. There's so much content. Check out newsarama.com and look at their list. If you can't understand how fast I'm speaking, totally understand. But I don't have an hour. If we made this the whole show, I could speak slower. Okay. Unspecified 2021. Superman and Lois Season 1 on the CW. Spidey and His Amazing Friends Season 1 on Disney Junior. Loki on Disney+. What If Season 1 on Disney+. Batwoman Season 2 on the CW with a new Batwoman. Black Lightning Season 4 on the CW. DC's Legend of Tomorrow Season 6 on the CW. The Flash Season 7. Riverdale Season 5. And Supergirl Season 6 are all coming in 2021. Now, in production, these are shows that are at least far enough along. They probably have scripts or they're filming or they're, second season, third season that are already in development. So that there's a difference between in production and development. In production is further along. In production, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Season 2, Young Justice Season 4, Big Hero 6 Season 3 on Disney Channel, DuckTales Season 3 on Disney XD, Woke, a pilot for Hulu, Boondocks Season 2 on HBO Max, and One Piece Season 1 on Netflix. Now, those are all of the short categories. If you guys want, I will read you the in development, which is a cartoonish list of just the comic book shows that have been announced. So in development is basically the shows that have gotten a budget, gotten a pilot order, gotten a script approved. This is the broad strokes insanity. And I can either do this or I can move over to the pull list because it's fascinating. Okay. I'm waiting for someone to respond. I'm leaving this up to the viewer because we still have more news, but I can do a long show. I don't mind. All right, scrolling back up. Let's see here. Okay, someone said Sandman hype, which means they want me to do the in development, plus I want to feel challenged. Yes, okay, big team more. I feel the challenge. Let's do this. Okay, in development. In development, we have Lock and Key Season 2 on Netflix. What If Season 2 on Disney Plus since it was already greenlit. Why the Last Man show that has been long gestating Season 1 on FX. Aquaman, King of Atlantis, a 3-part series for HBO Max. Raising Dion Season 2 on Netflix. Strange Adventures on HBO Max. Untitled Green Lantern show, which was announced late last year, HBO Max. DC Superhero High, HBO Max. She-Hulk Season 1, Disney Plus. Moon Knight Season 1, Disney Plus. Miss Marvel Season 1, Disney Plus. DMZ, the pilot for HBO Max. Untitled Akira sequel Season 1 on Sunrise, a network I've never heard of. Lucifer Season 5 on Netflix. Snowpiercer Season 2 on TBS. Hawkeye Season 1 on Disney Plus. Marvel's Hero Project Season 1 for Disney Plus. Marvel's 616 Season 1. Port of Earth Season 1 on Amazon. Hitmonkey, God, I want that show, Season 1 on Hulu. MODOK Season 1. El Vecino Season 1 on Netflix. Blacksmith Season 1 for NBC. Hashtag 4Hero on Machinima. Didn't know Machinima was still cooking. That's intriguing. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 4 for Netflix. Secret 6 Season 1 on CBS. Goldfish on Tokyo Pop. The Nameless City Season 1 on Recursion Media. American Flag on Eurocore. Amped for USA Network. Astro City for Fremantle Media. Astronaut Academy. Bad Medicine on NBC. American Jesus Season 1 on Netflix. Jupiter's Legacy Season 1 for Netflix. Black Magic with Groundswell Productions, that is early in the making. Briggs Land on AMC. Brooklyn's Animal Control on USA Network. Concrete, Universal Cable Productions. Crosswind for Entertainment One. Darkness Viable for IDW Entertainment, so the comic book company themselves are making that one, IDW Entertainment. Fear Agent is a pilot for Amazon, it looks like. Untitled Deadpool animated series is still somewhere in the making. DC's Hero Project for Machinima. The Disciples, Universal Cable Productions. Dr. Mirage for the CW. Eclipse for Skybound Entertainment. Empire of the Dead. Essex County for CBC. Five Ghosts on Sci-Fi. Flutter for Universal Cable Productions. Now we're into alphabeticals. We're catching up. Gideon Falls, Hive Mind. Granville, Harrow City, Hawaiian Dick, Heartthrob, Hiding in Time, Injection, Invincible, Lazarus, Letter 44, Lost City Explorers, Garfield, Metropolis, Mind MGMT, Minnie the Minx, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur Animated, Project 13, RASL, Rogue Limit, Quantum and Woody, Red, Sam and Twitch, maybe, Scalped, Happy Season 3, Sex Criminals, I would love to see that made into a show, Sin City from the Weinstein Company, Sinatoro, The Smurfs, Old City Blues, The Normals, Snowblind, Southern Bastards, Static Shock remake, Transhuman, Sam Hill Private Eye, Untitled Josie animated series, Usagi Yojimbo, The Wicked and the Divine, The Woods, Trees, Velvet, Wayward, Witchblade, Skin in the Earth, Warrior Nun, Dylan Dog, Nathan Never, Mr. No, Damper, Dragon Arrow, The Mall, Long Lost Thief of Thieves, Nailbiter, The Darkness, Think Tank, Sweet Tooth, Ice Cream Man, Black Hammer, Judge Dredd, Talent, Fetch, Woman's World, Super Crooks, Rachel Rising, Lobo for Warner Horizon, and Paper Girls, and then there's a bunch I've actually never heard of. Guys, there's a lot of good stuff coming. I skipped about 30, not kidding, including Sandman, which is the very last one because it's coming to Netflix and you guys know all about it. There's about 30 I didn't go through. These are all on Newsarama, but I'm afraid of losing everyone watching this. So do check out Newsarama's article. I skipped around. That was a lot of content. We are getting so much. very soon. Okay, I'm going to check my Streamlabs while I breathe, and then I'm going to read you guys some recommendations, some things I've been enjoying lately, and give you all a pull list. All right. Streamlabs seems good. Let me go ahead and check over the live chat. Yeah, those are all... 2020 is what I stopped before the mega break, and then 2021, I'd say 2022 is the rest of the stuff I read. Now, things will fall off. There are plenty of opportunities for a lot of those things not to get made, but those are the ones that have been at least gotten to a level of approval. Okay. Let's see. Moon Knight, real excited. Speed is good. Thank you very much. Squirrel Girl, I doubt it. It seems like there's a lot of very complicated legal stuff going on there. See? Okay, there were some names that made ears perk up. Thank you, Christine. That's why I wanted to power through, because there is definitely a merit in that insanity going on. And I think I am going to do this show later, because we've had a more consistent viewership, so I appreciate y'all. Alright, let's go check out the news. Okay, so after that mega TV series, maybe next week I'll do movies, if that was fun for you guys. I'll say what movies are in various levels of development. Video games, there's like 5. Including the Avengers game and the Iron Man VR, but there's a ton of movies. Okay, pull list, y'all. My top books from last week, my very favorite books from last week were Deceased, Unkillables number 3, Deadly Class number 44. I read Ex Machina volume 2, 3, and 4, which made my list. Green Lantern season 2 number 3, Hawkeye Freefall number 5, Joker, Harley, Criminal Sanity, number 4, which came out like 2 weeks ago, but this is the first time I made a top list, which made me so happy to do. Lois Lane, number 10. Marvel's Spider-Man Black Cat Strikes, number 4, which is from the Marvel Spider-Man video game universe, and that book is so good. Plunge, number 3, which is a horror comic, and that's not usually my cup of tea, but I'm loving this one. And Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 10. Okay, so favorite from you guys. If you guys like me making my favorite comics I pulled, do check out that post on Instagram. It's like a 9 grid, and those get way less love than most of my posts, so I want to know if it's worth it for me to keep doing those. So if you guys like me telling you what comics I recommend, do give those a like on Instagram so I know it's worthwhile. But that is the top books I read last week, and as we go along more and more weeks, I'll be able to do bigger top lists, which I'm very excited about. So all of those books will be available for you at your local comic store. They're all available right now. Some of them are digital only, like Hawkeye, which is a bummer, but those comics are all available right now. And this week, as of tomorrow, comic book pull list for tomorrow, I recommend The Amazing Spider-Man number 43. Nick Spencer continues his awesome run over on Spidey. Avengers 33, which brings Moon Knight into the fray. Very excited for some Moon Knight action. Basketful of Heads number 7 from Joe Hill. It is such a weird book. It feels like a VHS tape. I love it so much. Deadpool number 4. Guys, Kelly Thompson writing Deadpool. The Low Woods number 5, which has this Silent Hill vibe. Marauders number 10, which is Kate Pride storming the 7 seas and rescuing mutants as the pirate she is. She's awesome. Suicide Squad number 5, Tom Taylor's new take on the Suicide Squad. And finally, my number 1 pull of the week, Venom 25. Donny Cates and Mark Bagley teaming up. They've been on a great run with this Venom Island story, but this is apparently a new kicking off point for a new Venom arc that's going to conclude some old stuff and launch Venom in a new direction. And I think it's a slightly oversized book, so if you haven't been reading Venom, please do check out Venom number 25. I am very excited for that book in particular. I also had the epiphany while reading Ultimate Spider-Man that Ultimate Spider-Man is 20 years old this year. That book came out in 2000, 20 years old. When Ultimate Spider-Man came out, Mark Bagley was already the Spider-Man artist because he'd been drawing Spider-Man for like 15 years, which means he's currently on Venom. He was one of the first artists to draw Venom when he was invented. 20 years ago, he was a legendary Spider-Man artist, and 15 years before that, he's been on Spider-Man for 35 years. He's been drawing Venom since almost Venom began. That's just staggering to think about. Mark Bagley is such a titan. He's one of my go-to artists, and it blew my mind when I thought of that. Okay, my current reading list, the books I'm reading are obviously the weekly books. I'm also currently reading Ex Machina, and I'm currently reading Ultimate Spider-Man. I will be doing the book club on Coy-Cast for issues 1 through 7 next week. Coy-Cast is going to be doing a speed read through each volume of Spider-Man. We're going to go back and forth between Saga and Spider-Man, so 1 through 7 are going to be going on this week, and then the next week is not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, and then we'll be doing the second volume with issue 13, which is my favorite single issue of Ultimate Spider-Man and one of my favorite single issues of any comic ever. So, real good stuff. Streaming recs. I've decided to reframe how I do the streaming recommendations. Basically, what I'm going to do is week to week. So instead of going by studio or by streaming place, I'm going to break it down by week. So this week's streaming recommendations are on Netflix. I recommend Lincoln Lawyer, which drops tomorrow. Great McConaughey film. And then on the 28th, I haven't seen it yet, but Space Force from Greg Daniels and Steve Carell is the duo behind The Office, so I'm at least excited to check it out. The reviews aren't so hot, but it's a space show with Steve Carell, so I'm at least going to give it the pilot. On June 1st, I recommend over on Netflix, Inside Man, an incredible heist film. Silence of the Lambs, Twister, one of the 90s movies. I forgot Philip Seymour Hoffman was in it. Twister, just so good. Then we've got V for Vendetta, one of the great not comic book films of all time, produced by the Wachowskis, a damn fine film, so many iconic moments. And then finally on Netflix on June 1st, Zodiac, Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo in a David Fincher crime film. It is atmosphere-tastic and incredible. If you've never seen Zodiac, do check it out. And then on June 1st, over on Hulu, we've got Charlie Wilson's War, the great Aaron Sorkin writing the hell out of dialogue for Tom Hanks, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Julia Roberts. If you've never seen Charlie Wilson's War, I highly recommend it. It's actually my favorite Philip Seymour Hoffman performance. That and maybe Boogie Nights. And then we've got Constantine, Keanu Reeves as, Hellblazer himself, a not comic accurate, but damn good time film. We've got Men in Tights, my favorite Mel Brooks movie. I know that's sacrilege to a lot of Blazing Saddles, and, there's a lot of great Mel Brooks movies, but my favorite is Men in Tights. Up in the Air from the great Jason Reitman, and then on June 2nd, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. If you want to cry, have a good cry with A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood on June 2nd. And then over on Amazon on June 1st, we've got Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, Los Angeles, Nicolas Cage at an 11, and Sweeney Todd for you musical lovers. Johnny Depp just doing his damnedest to be the demon barber of some street. I forget which street, but that's that movie. And I liked it. I haven't seen it since theaters, but I sure did like it. So those are my streaming recommendations and my comic book recommendations for you all for this week. I am gonna wrap it up here. Let's see if there's any new Streamlabs before I go. I accidentally missed one last week, so I actually want to make sure I get to that one. It is loading slowly because this stream is actually quality, which Demon Street, no, isn't it Demon Barber of, it's not Demon Barber of Demon Street, is it? I don't know. Okay, the one I missed from last week was, where is it? It was, there it is. Rest in peace, Nipsey asked, after Venom and Morbius, what Spidey villain or supporting character would you like to get their own film next? I would like a Kraven the Hunter film where Spider-Man is the villain. So rest in peace, Nipsey. I would like to see The Most Dangerous Game translated through Spider-Man. I would like to see a Baker Street. Thank you very much. Wait, Baker Street or Fleet Street? Fleet Street, it looks like. Guys, gotta watch the movie to find out the title. I want to see The Most Dangerous Game done with Kraven, and now that Spider-Man's been unmasked, or not, we don't know, could be a Mysterio thing, we'll find out. I hope they don't retcon that. I'd love to see... Actually, I could go either way. Anyway, I'd love to see Kraven hunting Peter Parker, and I think that'd be cool to have it be, a more Kraven-based film, because his story is fascinating. I think you could do a lot with Kraven-offs, and I think that'd be a really fun take. Other than that, like Pipe Dream, Ben Reilly, I'd love to see a slightly older Peter Parker having an existential crisis and wondering what it means to be alive, and have that reflected in the Clone Saga. That's what I'd do with the Clone Saga. So if I had infinite money and infinite control, I would go Ben Reilly. Realistically, I would go Kraven the Hunter. And I hope that answers your question. And rest in peace, Nipsey. His track on the Game's latest album is, it breaks my heart every time, but it's so freaking good. Nipsey's sound is like no one else, and this town still feels it. So I agree. Rest in peace, Nipsey. And that Game track, real good. Real good. Okay, I think that is all we got in the Streamlabs. I'm going to pop back over to the chat real quick and wrap this up. A little over the hour mark today, but we had a healthy stream, so I wanted to celebrate it. Real happy to have you guys. Remember, on Thursday, I will be doing a Coy-Lection video with my Blu-rays E through H or so. And then on Friday, keep an eye out for a new review. I believe I'm going to do The Raid this week. The Raid by request of John Getz. I've never seen The Raid, so I'm going to be doing my usual due diligence of watching it, taking notes, looking at interviews, diving into The Raid and all of it entails. I'm a huge proponent of stunt people and stunt Oscars and all that jazz, so I'm very excited to see The Raid because I hear it is stunt-tastic, and I know it changed action movies as we know them, so keep an eye out for The Raid review on Friday. So tomorrow, Coycast. Thursday, Coy-lection. Friday, new review. And keep an eye out for Schmo announcements as they come out. I did so much Schmo stuff today that I'm very excited to share with you, Schmo stuff. And thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you for the very, very healthy Coycast numbers that are coming in, because I want to get in that top 100 spot and more. And apparently we have confirmed it is Fleet Street, because Baker Street is, in fact, Sherlock Holmes. And you're totally right. Beaker Street isn't a thing. There's Beaker in Sesame Street. Bleecker Street is Doctor Strange. Guys, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street is where we're going to end it today. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for all your support, and thank you, as ever, to Comic Books for existing. I'll see you guys soon.